जय हिंद स्टूडेंट्स, आप लोग कैसे हैं? आई होप यू ऑल आर स्टेइंग फिट एंड फाइन. So students, today we will discuss some very important topics related to gravitation. In the previous session we have started with this particular chapter and will continue with that topic. We have discussed universal law of gravitation, right? Here we will discuss the applications of that law. And then we will discuss a very important concept, that is acceleration due to gravity. Thereafter, in this session, we will try to find out the value of acceleration due to gravity on the Earth's surface and then on the Moon's surface as well, right? So, let me recap the law of gravitation. Students, what we have discussed was, law of gravitation is applicable for any two material bodies. This law is applicable for any two material bodies. This law states that every body in this universe tends to attract every other body with a force which is directly proportional to the product of masses of the two bodies. That is, the attractive force between them is directly proportional to the product of masses of the two bodies and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between their centers. That is, it follows inverse square law, and that is F is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between the center of the two bodies. So students, if we combine them, we get F is proportional to m1 m2 divided by r square. Now in order to eliminate this proportionality sign, we introduce universal gravitational constant, and that is represented by capital letter G, right? So F is equal to capital G m1 m2 by r square. So this is, student, the mathematical form of the universal law of gravitation. Its value is constant, determined by very sensitive balance, and is experimentally determined by Cavendish, right? Its value is found to be 6.67. Its value is obtained to be 6.67 into 10 to the minus 11 Newton meter square per kg square. This all we have discussed in my previous lecture, right? Thereafter we have discussed some very important properties of gravitational force as well, isn't it? So today we will be discussing the applications of law of gravitation. So students, you are aware, the law of gravitation can be applied in cases like the revolution of moon around the earth. I'll explain. This is suppose earth, and let us consider this to be moon. Moon revolves around the earth in a particular circular orbit, right? And this may be considered to be the radius. Now look students, there exists an attractive force between earth and moon. That is, earth and moon both exert upon each other an equal and opposite force. That is, this is the force I am talking about. Now since the mass of the moon is about 1 by 100 times the mass of the earth, that is, moon is of smaller mass. So as a result, what happens is, moon revolves around the earth. So this force, which is the gravitational force between the moon and the earth, it provides the moon the necessary centripetal force. Students, we have discussed, whenever a body is moving along a circular path, then the nature of the force must be centripetal. And here, the centripetal force is being provided by the gravitational force of attraction between the moon and the earth. Right? So the revolution of moon around the earth, that can be explained by universal law of gravitation. Similarly, the revolution of planets, including Earth around the Sun, that may again be explained with the help of universal law of gravitation. Now, during the free fall of a body, the body tends to get attracted towards the center of the Earth. So this phenomena can also be explained with the help of universal law of gravitation. So every body in this universe tends to attract every other body with a force which is directly proportional to the product of mass of the two bodies and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between their centers. which is known as inverse square law. Now students, in the previous lecture, we have discussed the case of apple earth, right? Let me give you an example, right? So as to stress on that particular point. Suppose students, this is a body, say of mass, large mass, it's a huge body, it's suppose a celestial object. It is suppose a celestial object. Its mass is considered to be suppose 10 raised to power 6 kg or 10 raised to power 6 kg, it's okay. Right? It's a huge body. And there is a simple body, smaller one. Suppose its mass is m2 and it is suppose 0.5 kg. Now both the bodies will attract each other with the same force. The force with which m1 exert on body m2, the same force will be exerted by body m2 on body m1, isn't it? So they form action-reaction pair. So both the bodies will exert equal and opposite forces. Now for m1, suppose this force is, let us consider, that's a simple example, 2 Newton. So they are exerting each other, or they are interacting with each other with a force of 2 Newton, say. So for m1, which is huge mass, what will be the acceleration produced? It will be equal to F divided by m1. I am making use of the consequence of Newton's second law, which is force is equal to mass into acceleration, right? So what will be the value? Force is 2, mass is 10 raised to power 6. So it will be 2 into 10 raised to power minus 6 meter per second square, which is negligible. It is 0.000006, which is very, very small. It is 0.000006. It is very, very small indeed. It is almost 0, right? What about mass m2? The acceleration produced in mass m2 would be F divided by m2. Both are exerting upon each other an equal and opposite force. So the force is constant. So it is 2 divided by what is the mass of the second one? That is 0.5. So it will be equal to 4 meter per second square. Therefore, A2 is very, very large as compared to A1. A1 is almost negligible. So students, what we have discussed was, in the case of apple earth, both apple and earth exert equal and opposite force upon each other. But the apple falls down to the earth and we don't see the earth moving towards the apple because the mass of earth is very, very large. So the acceleration produced in the earth is almost negligible. So it is the apple which gets attracted towards the earth. Clear, students? So in the case of earth moon, earth acts as a source mass. Its mass is much, much more as compared to moon. So moon revolves around the earth. In the case of earth sun, sun is huge. The mass of sun is about 10 raised to power 6 times greater than that of the mass of the earth. So in the sun earth system, it is the earth which revolves around the sun. Understood, student? So although both the bodies, whether lighter or heavier, they exert equal and opposite force upon each other, but the acceleration produced in a heavier body is much less as compared to the acceleration produced in the lighter body. So all these phenomena, the revolution of moon around the earth, the revolution of planets including earth around the sun, the free fall of a body, then the formation of tides due to sun, the formation of tides due to moon, these all are the phenomena which can be explained only and only with the help of universal law of gravitation. So students, these were some of the applications of law of gravitation that we have just now discussed, right? Okay, now let's concentrate on the other very, very important topic, and it is the acceleration due to gravity. We all are aware of the term acceleration, isn't it? We all are aware of the term acceleration. So here we are going to discuss acceleration due to gravity. Acceleration due to gravity. And students will represent acceleration due to gravity by small letter g. It will be represented by small letter g. Remember, there's a difference between capital letter G and small letter g. This capital G, it represents universal gravitational constant, right? While small g, we will make use of small g to represent acceleration due to gravity. Now students, let's discuss the acceleration theoretically. Now look, in case we consider a body to be under the influence of force of gravitation alone, then what happens is, if we release a body from a height, then it will fall downward, isn't it? Why? Because it will experience a gravitational force due to which it will get attracted towards the earth, right? In this case, when the force is acting on the falling body, then that force won't produce any change in its direction of motion. The body will keep falling along the same straight line. So it is a one-dimensional motion. But the gravitational force acting on the body will bring about a change in the magnitude of its velocity. So what I mean to say is that, suppose this is Earth and a body is made to fall, or a body is made to release from a height, right? It is simply released like this. It is released. So its initial velocity is 0. Now as it approaches the Earth, its velocity will keep on increasing. And velocity increasing means its magnitude will increase. It will keep on following the same straight path. So it will follow the same straight path. But as it falls downward, its speed keeps on increasing. That is being represented by the arrows with increasing length. And students, at the instant when the body strikes the ground, its velocity is maximum. So what I mean to say is that during the free fall of a body, due to the force of gravitation, the velocity of the body is changing. If the velocity of the body is changing, it means that it is the case of accelerated motion. The body is experiencing acceleration, and this acceleration which this body is experiencing due to the force of gravitation is known as acceleration due to gravity. So nothing new, students. Acceleration means change in velocity. So here also the change in velocity is taking place, and here only the magnitude of the velocity is changing. So that change in the velocity is producing an acceleration in the body, and this acceleration in the body is produced due to the force of gravitation. And this acceleration with which a body gets attracted towards the center of the earth is known as acceleration due to gravity. Clear, students? So we generally represent acceleration by small letter a. So during the free fall of a body, or when the body is under the influence of gravitational force alone, then a can be replaced by small g. So students, remember, g, small letter g, it will be used to represent acceleration due to gravity. Now since it is acceleration, therefore its SI unit is meter per second square, right? Time rate change in the velocity. So its SI unit is meter per second square. Clear, students? Okay. Now what we will discuss is, since the body is falling freely, so in this case a will be replaced by small g. So we have discussed the equations of motion, students. All the equations of motion are valid in uniformly accelerated motion. Clear? So during the free fall of a body, we will discuss these two cases. During the free fall of a body, remember u is 0. Initial velocity, just a body is released, so initial velocity is 0. A will be plus g, because it is getting attracted towards the earth. So acceleration due to gravity is along the direction of the motion. So its speed keeps on increasing. So it will be plus g. So what will be the first equation of motion then? Usually it is v is equal to u plus at. Here it will be v equals to u plus gt. In case the ball is released, u will be equal to 0. In case it is imparted some initial velocity, then you will have some finite value, right? What is the second equation of motion? It is s equals to ut plus half at square. So over here, it will be s equals to ut plus half gt square. Simply in place of a, substitute as g. Third equation is 2as is equal to v square minus u square. Over here you will write 2gs is equal to v square minus u square. So these are the three equations we will be using when a body is under the influence of gravity. Clear, students? Remember, during free fall, if the body is released, then its initial velocity would be 0. You can substitute the value of u as 0 in case a body is released from a height. But in case from a height the body is given some or imparted some initial velocity, then you will have some finite value. Clear, students? Similarly, when a body is thrown in the upward direction, in this case the body is coming downward. Now, during the vertically upward motion of a body, during vertically upward motion of a body, during vertically upward motion of a body. In this case, body is moving in the upward direction. So what will happen is, this is the Earth's surface. It's been imparted some initial velocity so as to make the body gain in height. So initial velocity would be maximum. But now look, gravity will act in the downward direction, isn't it? But the direction of motion of the body thrown vertically upwards is opposite to the direction of gravity. So as a result, what happens is, it will be the case of retardation. So its magnitude of velocity, that is speed, will keep on decreasing, and eventually it will reach the highest point, and at the highest point its final velocity would be 0. Please remember this point. So when a body is thrown in the vertically upward direction, its speed will keep on decreasing, and eventually when the body is at highest point, it will momentarily stop. That is, its final velocity will become 0. So here it is the case of retardation. The speed is decreasing at a constant rate. So here in this case, a is replaced by minus g. Clear, students? So here the three equations will become v is equal to u minus gt, s would be equal to ut minus half gt square, and the third one would be minus 2gs is equal to v square minus u square. And later on, in case the highest point is considered to be the final point, then the final velocity v can be substituted as 0. Have I made myself clear, students? So while dealing with numericals based on gravitation, we'll be making use of this concept. Clear? So we are over with applications and we are over with acceleration due to gravity as well. Clear? Acceleration due to gravity is the acceleration with which a body gets attracted towards the center of the earth. Right? Okay. Next is, we'll try to find out the value of acceleration due to gravity on the earth's surface. And for this, we need to get the expression for the acceleration due to gravity. Right? Now what to do is, expression for g, expression for acceleration due to gravity. This is our article, right? Suppose this is Earth, it's huge. This is the center of the Earth. And students, remember, although Earth actually is ellipsoidal, it is elliptical, but for all practical considerations, we can consider the Earth to be a perfect sphere, say of radius capital R. And suppose a body be placed over here. This is any body, any terrestrial body. This is a celestial object, Earth. This is a terrestrial object. So its mass is very, very small. Let the mass of the Earth is capital M, which is considered its center. Let the mass of this terrestrial object be small m. And obviously small m is very, very less as compared to capital M. It's a fact. So this will act as a source mass, this will act as a test mass actually, isn't it? So although both will exert equal and opposite force upon each other, but still this body will get attracted, or rather it will fall towards the Earth. Clear? So what is the force acting on this particular body? The same force will be acting on Earth as well. So for body of mass small m, what is the force acting? What is the magnitude of this force? We can make use of universal law of gravitation, its mathematical form. It will be capital G, product of the masses of the two bodies under consideration. One is the mass of the earth, the other one is the mass of the body under consideration, divided by the distance between their centers. Here, the dimension of this terrestrial object is negligible as compared to the dimensions of the earth. So the distance between their centers may be logically considered to be equal to the radius of the earth. So it will be r square. R is the radius of the earth. R is the radius of the earth. This is earth. Clear, students? So this is equation 1. Even if it is at some finite height, still that height h would be negligible as compared to the radius of the earth. Students, the radius of the earth is 6400 kilometer. It's huge. So the dimensions of this body is negligible when compared to the dimensions of the earth. So here, what we have approximated is the distance between the centers of these two bodies is equal to the radius of the earth itself. Right? So r is the radius of the earth. Also, students, as per Newton's second law, we are aware, as per the consequence of the Newton's second law, F is equal to ma. We all remember this. The net external force acting on this body is mass of this body multiplied by acceleration. And the acceleration which this body experiences under the influence of this force of gravitation is known as acceleration due to gravity. So in place of A, in place of this A, we will replace this A with acceleration due to gravity. Just now we have discussed, isn't it? The acceleration with which a body gets attracted towards the center of the earth, that is known as acceleration due to gravity of earth. Right? So from 1 and 2, what we get is mg, it's equal to g capital M small m divided by r square. M get cancelled. So the expression for the acceleration due to gravity is small g equals to capital G capital M divided by r square. Students, this is the expression for the acceleration due to gravity at a point on the Earth's surface. G, as you are aware, it's the universal gravitational constant. Capital M is, here we are considering the Earth, so capital M would be the mass of the Earth, which is the source mass. R is the radius of the Earth. So substituting the value of M, R and G, we can easily determine the numerical value of acceleration due to gravity. So this is the value of acceleration due to gravity on the Earth's surface. Is it clear? So what we have concluded is the acceleration which a body experiences, with which it exerts force and with which it falls or gets attracted towards the center of the earth, it is independent of the mass of the body. So small g, it is independent of the mass of the body. It simply depends upon the mass of the planet or mass of the heavenly body under consideration. In this case, obviously it is Earth. Clear, students? So acceleration due to gravity, it depends upon the dimensions of the planet under consideration. It do not depend upon the mass of the falling body. Right? So what I mean to say is that if two bodies, a lighter one, suppose this is the ground, earth surface, and this is a lighter body and this is a heavier body. It can be considered to be a feather, lightweight feather, and this may be considered to be a huge body. Suppose its mass is 1 ton. Both are dropped from the same height. Both are dropped from the same height. In that case, both will have same acceleration due to gravity. So both will fall and will take equal time to reach the Earth's surface, provided there is no other force acting. If these two falling bodies, one the lighter, the other heavier, is only and only under the influence of gravitational force, air resistance, any other forces are considered to be negligible. In such a case, both the bodies will take equal time to reach the ground, and they will reach the ground with the same velocity. So what I mean to say is that the acceleration with which these two bodies are coming towards the ground, it is independent of the mass of the two bodies. So as a result, both will take the same time in coming to the ground or in reaching the ground. And while striking the ground, both will possess the same final velocity. So it clearly indicates that the acceleration due to gravity is independent of the mass of the falling body. It only depends upon the dimensions and mass of the planet under consideration, right? So let's determine the numerical value of small g. Let us determine the value of small g. So, value of small g on Earth's surface. So students, what was the expression for small g? It is g m by r square. In case we are finding the value of small g on the Earth's surface, then this is the mass of the Earth. And mass of Earth is, being a science student, just do remember this value. It is 6 into 10 raised to power 24 kg. R, it is the radius of the Earth. It is 6400 kilometer. Converted in SI, 1 kilometer is 1000 meter, isn't it? So it can be written as 6.4 into 10 raised to power 6 meters. And capital G, we all are aware of this value. So let's substitute the value. Capital G is 6.67 into 10 raised to power minus 11. M is 6 into 10 raised to power 24 divided by R square. R is 6.4 into 10 raised to power 6 square. If you solve it, students, I hope you all are capable of finding the numerical value of this. So, if you solve it, you will get 9.8. And SI unit of acceleration is meter per second square. So, the value of acceleration due to gravity is 9.8 meter per second square. This is considered to be the value of acceleration due to gravity on the Earth's surface. In the next lecture, we will discuss, this is just the approximate value. Actually, the value of small g varies from place to place. That we will discuss in the next section. But while dealing with numericals, the value of small g is taken as 9.8 meter per second square until and unless otherwise mentioned. Clear, students? So, the value of acceleration due to gravity on the Earth's surface is 9.8 meter per second square. Clear? Okay. Also, we can determine the value of small g on lunar surface. Lunar surface means on the moon surface. So, let's try to find out the value of small g on lunar surface. Lunar means moon, on moon's surface. We'll make use of the same formula. So, we need to calculate the value of acceleration due to gravity on moon surface. This is universal gravitational constant. This will remain same, constant everywhere in the universe. M is the mass of the moon. R is the radius of the moon. Now here you need to consider certain important facts. The mass of the moon is 1 by 100 times the mass of the Earth, which we have considered to be m. Mass of the Earth is considered to be m. Radius of the moon is quarter means 1 by 4th of the radius of the Earth. So 1 by 4th of the radius of the Earth. Radius of the Earth is considered to be r. Right? So let's substitute these values over here. So what you get is G moon is equal to capital G. M moon, it can be written as m by 100. R moon square, it can be written as r square 4 square, that is 16. Clear, students? So this may be written as 16 by 100 Gm divided by r square. So students, what we get is 16 by 100, that will be roughly 1 by 6, isn't it? So what we get is G moon, it is equal to or approximately equal to 16 6 are 96. So approximately it can be taken as 1 by 6 Gm divided by r square. Now students, look, m is the mass of the earth, r is the radius of the earth. So Gm divided by r square will be the value of acceleration due to gravity on the earth's surface. That we have represented by small letter g. So it is equal to 1 by 6 of g. Therefore, students, there is a very important result. G moon is approximately equal to 1 by 6 of value of acceleration due to gravity on the earth's surface. So we can determine the numerical value of the acceleration due to gravity on the lunar surface as well. That can be found by substituting the value of small g. Small g on earth's surface is 9.8. So it will give us 1.63 meter per second square. So students, this is the value of acceleration due to gravity on the moon's surface. So the value of acceleration due to gravity on the moon's surface is 1 by 6 the value of acceleration due to gravity on the earth's surface. It is only due to the appropriate or higher value of gravity on the earth's surface that earth is able to hold on to its atmosphere. While on the other hand, moon's gravity is quite less, it's 1 by 6. So there is no atmosphere on moon. This is one of the reasons. There are other reasons as well, but this is one of the reasons why moon do not have any atmosphere. It is because its value of acceleration due to gravity is less. It is unable to hold on to the atmosphere, right? So with the passage of time, it kept on losing the atmosphere, and eventually there is no atmosphere on moon now, right? So students, we will conclude this session then. We have discussed during this session, we have discussed all these topics. I hope you have understood each and every topic, right? So please, again, I must insist on your consistency. Be consistent in your studies and have a positive approach towards your studies, right? Don't miss a single lecture. Watch my each and every video till the very end. Watch it again and again till you understand the concepts. And in case of any doubt, you can always text me. You can always clarify your doubts, right? Just in the message comment, you can seek clarifications for any doubts, if any, right? So all the very best and keep studying, students. We'll continue in the next session then. Till then, bye-bye and take very good care of yourself.